Los Angeles, California. In an intimate yet profound conversation with Cinematic Spirit magazine, actress Dakota Johnson shared her perspective on the art of acting, especially the scenes considered sensitive in cinema, nude scenes. At 35 years old, Dakota is no longer the innocent Anastasia of the 50 Shades series, but has grown to become an icon of artistic freedom, sophistication in choosing roles, and a courageous perspective on life. Doing nude scenes is fun, Dakota smiled, her eyes flashing with familiar humor. Not because it's sexy or provocative, but because it's when you have to be the most honest with the character, and with yourself. Art, not gimmick. When asked if she felt hesitant about nude scenes, Dakota affirmed that she never saw it as a gimmick to attract audiences. If the nudity is just for the sake of getting views, I refuse. But if it is an integral part of the character's journey, a symbol of vulnerability, liberation, or an emotional turning point, then I will not hesitate. She frankly expressed that nudity in the art of cinema, if handled properly, can convey layers of emotion that dialogue or costumes cannot. There is no such thing as absolute safety, only absolute authenticity. Dakota also admitted that there is no such thing as an absolutely safe scene when it comes to an actor's emotions. I used to tremble in front of the camera, not because I was embarrassed, but because I was shedding all my layers of protection. It was a very real feeling. She emphasized the importance of a filming environment that respects the actor, a director who clearly understands the goal of the scene, a discreet and professional crew, and absolute consent from the actor. Being authentic doesn't mean exposing, it means understanding why you choose to expose. Behind the lights, still a traditional woman. Although famous for her daring roles, in real life Dakota Johnson chooses a rather private and traditional lifestyle. She loves reading, taking care of plants, cooking, and staying away from social media. People think I'm rebellious, but the truth is I'm very traditional. I love silence. I believe in the value of modesty and loyalty. I choose to be nude in movies because it's a role, not because I live a promiscuous life. Acting, more than just the limelight. For Dakota, acting is never about dressing up, going on the red carpet, and being in the papers. She sees each role as a chance to live another life, full of challenges, conflicts, and sacrifices. People see me in a beautiful dress on the red carpet at Cannes. But they don't see me on set at 4 a.m., drenched in artificial rain, trying to act out a heartbreaking scene that the director has asked me to do 12 times. She stresses that intimate scenes, especially nudity, are never easy. They involve a combination of acting discipline, work ethic, and, most importantly, trust between the parties on set. I would never be naked in front of a director I don't trust. Trust is the line between art and abuse. Nudity doesn't mean emotional nakedness. Dakota Johnson may strip off in front of the camera, but she always maintains her emotional sanity. This, she says, is the difference between an artist and a product. I don't let the character take over me. I go in, I do my best, and then I leave. If you don't know how to detach, you're lost. She once shared that after each film, she takes time out in a quiet place, no phone, no media, to act. People detox from caffeine, I detox from character, she laughs. And finally, a message to the younger generation. When asked if she had any message for young actors who are wondering whether to accept sensitive scenes to gain fame, Dakota answered very frankly. Don't do it for attention. Only do it if it serves the story, the character, and if you really understand what you are giving to the art. A stripping doesn't make you a great actor, but a change in mindset and discipline can. Suggested title for the full article. Dakota Johnson. I get naked for the character, not the spotlight. Dakota doesn't need to be naked to stand out, but still chooses to do so, when the time is right. There's a strange truth in the entertainment world. Sometimes it's the things that are considered dangerous or sensitive that help us illuminate the core of a character, even a person. For Dakota Johnson, she didn't choose to be naked to become an icon. She chose to do it as an act of art, both courageous and controlled. Taking my clothes off in front of the camera, for me, is not about exposing my body, but about touching the deepest loneliness of the character. There are emotions that cannot be covered by clothes. Dakota doesn't consider herself outstanding or pioneering. She simply does her job, seriously, honestly, and with limits. And perhaps that's what makes her stand out in a noisy Hollywood. Freedom is built from discipline. If you ask Dakota about the formula to be able to maintain freedom in a world of entertainment full of constraints, she will not talk about beauty, relationships, or money. Instead, the answer is very simple: discipline, respect for yourself, and a little bit of carefreeness. The freedom to let go, to express yourself, to live your life to the fullest in art, for Dakota, does not come from indulgence, but from control. And perhaps, that is what the younger generation of actors need to learn. Not to do anything, but to know when to do it, and to do it to serve what? What do audiences need from an artist? Definitely not hot scenes, and certainly not cheap provocation. The audience needs sincerity. It takes an artist who dares to be true to her role, to her emotions, and to herself, regardless of whether she is wearing a luxurious couture dress, or just showing her bare skin on screen. In conclusion, Dakota Johnson does not go nude to become famous. She is already famous, and still chooses to go nude. Not to create a scandal, but to tell a story. Not to get attention, but to not betray the character she is playing. I don't see nudity as a moral limit. I see it as a test, how well you know yourself. Dakota Johnson. In the history of cinema, nudity has been seen as a double-edged sword. On the one hand, a symbol of personal liberation; on the other hand, it can easily become a tool for commercialization. But for Dakota Johnson, it is a form of body language full of knowledge and control. I am not told by the director, "Take it off." I am the one who proactively says, "This scene, if I am naked, will say something that the dialogue cannot." And that is the difference between an exploited actress and an artist who knows how to master herself. Nudity is not a surrender, but a declaration. Feminism is not about covering or revealing, it is about the right to choose. Perhaps one of the things that makes Dakota Johnson respected by the world is that she does not preach feminism as a trend, but lives it very quietly, through each thoughtful career decision. She can wear a black suit with a low neckline to a press conference, and she can go completely naked on screen. Both are feminist choices, if they are truly her choice. I don't need to scream for equality. I just need to be quiet, work hard, and choose the right roles. That's enough.